Why are people quitting Diablo 4? Honestly, the question should be why keep playing Diablo 4 at this point, considering how the game currently is. And not to mention, the next BOE season is a little bit more than a week away.
Cywo, very big Lost Ark content creator. Everybody knows Cywo.
I
From the
don't.
Lost Ark community at least. Moved over and started playing Diablo 4.
Mistakes were made.
And now you have this.
That was a fast switch.
So here I am, roughly 400 or 500 hours into Diablo 4, and that's about everything I'm gonna give the game, because I don't feel that there's any more excitement for me to be had here. Or
I mean, I better not hear a fucking video about how the game is bad after 500 fucking hours. That's a long time to play a game. Oh my god, like 500 hours? Yeah, you had a good time.
of fun, and
Yeah.
just waiting for a
Questionable?
possible brighter future, just being here and doing nothing that's very interesting as a player.
I mean, the future is so bright I don't need eyes to see it, honestly. But not exactly in the gaming sense.
Yeah.
Not really something I want to do. I would like to
I don't think that that's the way ARPGs are designed, really. I think that they're designed to be played and quit and then played again.
Yeah,
preface
probably.
this video by saying that these are my thoughts coming from a background of MMORPGs, with Diablo 4 being my
he's
first
doing this
ever
shit.
ARPG.
Like, I'm doing this build too.
I'm not here to reflect the opinion of the
Oh, people finally found my build. This was what I started playing the game with. You're invulnerable if you do this. You're literally invulnerable. Decrep and the amount of times you hit with the blood mist plus this. Oh yeah, you're literally constantly invulnerable. It's beautiful. Ah, man. It only took you people like half a year to figure that this most obvious thing exists. And by the way, there's ways to even hit more with Blood Mist. You know, the automatic corpse explosion. Well, a lot of other things.
RPG fan base. Most likely,
Look at this.
maybe they feel differently
So he's
than
not
I
using
do.
Barber either.
However, today we're gonna talk about my thoughts in Diablo 4 since the beginning, including Season 1, all the way up until today. I had a
Disgustingly
fantastic time
good.
in the game for the first
Isn't this
50
shit OP as fuck? Like, I fucking hate this shit. I really, I
Yeah.
hate this fucking piece of shit ability.
It looks like yes, but
hours
it is
when
love.
I was brand new, including the betas, and discovering everything about Diablo 4.
Wait, he's not using the guys that create corpses. I guess that's fine. He's not using the Reaper skeletons.
Yeah.
The classes, the systems, the ideas, the combat, the mobs, the plants, the NPCs, the builds, and the Paragon boards. These first 50 hours, I think they've done a fantastic job in Diablo 4. I
Absolutely.
think it's a super appealing game for new
That's true.
players. It's not only very easy to understand, and it's not only
True.
very fun to actually press your
Oh, also, they finally nerfed these guys because they one-shotted your stuff. Now they don't. It's beautiful.
buttons and play basically and kill mobs with your low level class. However, when you get to the end, it becomes this gray, murky area of not only boredom but also lack of substance, I feel, for an ARPG. It felt very, very similar to
Look at this
MMORPGs that I
Giga
played in
Chad.
the past where there's only one route. The only difference is that these MMORPGs have 20 times more variety in terms of pieces of content. So even if it's the same
That's a really good point that he brings up right there. I fucking agree with that. Is that a lot of the times that, like, with PoE, like, if I get bored of doing one thing, I can do something different in PoE. And, like, with WoW, that's the same thing, too. It's like you have more different ways to play the game. That's why it's kind of sad that everything is, like, focused on Nightmare Dungeons now.
How is this a good point? We have said this point from the beginning of the game. Like, this was one of my complaints about people who are PoE elitists. Oh, look at how much PoE has more to do than Diablo 4. Yeah. The game has been out for how many years? They have added stuff after stuff after stuff after. Of course it's gonna have more than Diablo 4. What do you mean? Yeah, of course games that have existed longer are gonna have more content on average than games that are new. Like, how how do you not understand this?
Same class with the same build, at least you wash your eyes with 20 different things. In the
Oh, he doesn't have the thing. Wait, yeah, he doesn't have the thing that increases attack speed of Skellingtons. Oh, that's actually sad. Also, I don't actually think you need the damage reduction on the Bone Storm here. Skeleton speed, by the way, is literally damage. Skeleton damage is not actually damage, but skeleton speed is damage because of Blight.
Diablo 4, obviously endgame content is limited.
Oh
to,
my,
like,
he's
two
actually
things,
doing the switch. Does he have the thing that gives 90% attack speed? Because I never tried this, but I think you can almost make this a permanent uptime skill.
Nightmare Dungeons
Army of the
tier
Dead.
100 or high tier
Yeah.
and Uber Lilith.
Dude, if he
And that's
has
all
the
you
thing that increases attack speed by 90%, this is gonna be lit.
do, but if you cannot even do that on several different builds and everything else is a pain in the ass and a struggle to avoid getting hit from
Okay,
off
does he
screen or
click?
to avoid
Ah,
somehow-
he's waiting for the stun meter. I don't know what actually stuns with the Necromancer, but if you have Flesh Golem, you can pretty much just stun the boss in the first 5 seconds. I don't even know how it works, but you just do.
on a very immobile build just because you want to play something else than the one that everyone else is playing.
Ooh.
Is just a frustrating experience of making content difficult in that sense. And don't get me wrong, those of you who follow me for a long time, you already know that I absolutely love difficult content. But there is a big
And there
difference
he
in
goes.
between
So he died. He didn't kill the boss then.
Yeah, probably. Also, the fact that we're concentrating more on the actual Liliana kill than what he is saying, I think also says a lot.
Because there's no way you would have cut it at that point.
Yeah, because
he
that
just
was
popped
the
his
army.
cooldowns.
Yeah.
difficult because it's difficult, but the various builds for classes in an ARPG work, and the difficult.
Okay, I don't know what he's saying, but since he's talking about builds, let me just say this one more time for the audience, so you can hear it for the 15 trillionth time. In Diablo 4, there are no builds. Skills suck. Blizzard is not buffing anything that needs to be buffed. I'm playing a sorceress. If ice shots didn't exist, there would be literally not a single skill in the game that actually dealt damage until the end game. And I'm not even at the end game. But it's just the fact that Fireball is weak. Lightning Strike literally is not usable for anything. Blizzard overlaps, so it's not free to cast. And so you can never get it free to cast because of it. Everything else sucks dicks. Maybe Fireball could be useful, I don't know. Maybe Hydras can actually be a build, I don't, again, know. But Sorceress's special thing, you know, the arsenal type of stuff, the enchantment things, sucks. It's boring, it's bad, none of them feel impactful. It's like the most nerfed thing in the honest universe. Not a single one of those things feels impactful. And Ice is the only thing you can play because Ice has Ice Shots. Without Ice Shots, there's not a single skill that deals damage. And that's the problem with Diablo 4. What does Blizzard do? Everything except buffing things. Like, they are gonna sooner nerf the only skill a class has to actually play the game with than buff the other skills. Because not a single person who's buffing and nerfing and making patches for the game actually plays the game. They just look at an Excel spreadsheet that is probably incorrect, and then they make decisions on incorrect data. And the decisions they make, even with correct data, would probably suck.
That is in Diablo 4, which is a frustrating, difficult, unless there's that one thing.
Yeah, I don't know why Blizzard can't figure out how to make design and difficulty without making it fucking annoying. It's like
True.
Blizzard's idea of difficulty is like,
It's just
yeah, so
tedium.
there's like, you have to fight this boss, but there's like a JPEG of a cat that appears sometimes on your screen, and it gets in the way of the mechanic. And like each phase, the JPEG of the cat gets bigger.
No,
And
smaller.
yeah, every single
Smaller.
and then more and more of the sound effects from the boss become meows throughout the fight, so you can no longer use sound cues. And you just have
Effective.
these giant fucking pictures of cats spawning and meows, and it's like, yeah, see, it's harder, right? So like, fuck,
Yeah.
if it's harder, that means it's good.
Yeah, Blizzard doesn't know what hard is. They replay. They literally don't know what hard is. They just replace hard with tedious, repetitive tasks and say, "Oh, look at that! Now instead of 1 minute, it's taking you 20. Isn't that harder? Huh?" No, it's not. It's just. I'm just gonna quit the game now. Thank you.
that you should absolutely do, and everyone should.
You have to do all the side quests to get your cat goggles, and it makes it to where you can't see cats.
But you don't know where the side quests are, so you can't even start them.
do it until Blizzard decides, hey, I'm gonna let Saivo do whatever he wants to do because it's time to maybe change that and make it appropriate, or change that build or that skill or that option or whatever. I don't really like that feeling. I just don't. I came to an ARPG to enjoy a variety of builds, to enjoy build making,
But there's
to
no
enjoy
builds.
one class with 9 different options to go about it. I didn't come to an ARPG to enjoy the same fucking content, 2 pieces of it on the same build all over again. It's really not that interesting if it's just limited to that. And
I think that's the problem with a lot of the conditional modifiers of Diablo 4, is that the conditional modifiers make it to where they only really work for like 1 or 2 spells, and they're not very translatable. So like if you have like a lot of close damage, for example, that might be good if you're playing a Blood Mist build. But if you're playing a this is for Necromancer, for example, but
no one actually takes advantage of damage at distance. Everyone's always at close range.
If you're playing a Bone Spear build, it's going to be the worst, right? Like you have some overalls, right? Like vulnerable crit damage, kind of always good. But many of the other ones, that's not the case.
What he's saying here is essentially the stats suck, and it's true. And by the way, this is a thing I have not found a time to complain about. But man, I was happy when Blizzard did the huge nerfs to vulnerability, critical strike, and whatnot. Because those things don't allow you to have diverse builds. It's literally every single character, no matter what you do, is going to go for vulnerability, crit rate, and crit damage. Every single build, that's going to be your main best stat, and there's nothing else you can build. Then they nerfed it, and I was happy. And now Blizzard has actually, buffed it. Because they don't know how to actually fix the game. So they're buffing it because they're clueless on how you make other damage more meaningful. The game is literally not designed to have any other type of gameplay viable. So that's horrible. Essentially, Blizzard has completely already given up on the even slight hope that, we're ever going to have anything other than crit ratio and crit damage to ever worry about in the game, because no stat ever is going to matter. And there's no stats other than that also in the game that actually matter, which makes items boring. And when you have a legendary enchantment, affix, or whatever you want to call it for something, it maybe does, or it's a multiplier, chances are. Or maybe it just makes it different how you use one skill, slightly.
Speaking of mechanics, there is no mechanics, because Diablo 4 is not a game that's complex or that makes your brain think for a very long time. The closest I got to, fail.
So, I guess I'm going to leak this right now. We did the podcast today, Steak and Eggs, with Amaru and Tectone, and we had a guest today. Baby No Money was our guest.
I have no idea who that is.
And I made him mad in the first 5 minutes of the episode by bringing up Diablo 4.
Okay.
Because he's a big fan. He loves the games. And it's like everybody that I've talked to has felt the exact same thing.
Wait, everyone's saying in the chat just who.
It's going to be out on Friday.
Was in my Lilith fight, which was the best fight in Diablo 4 and the best kind of content. Assuming I didn't do it with the Bone Spear build, because that was a 45-second content, which was not good at all. But when I was trying with the Mendel Minion build, or with my Sorg, for example, you do get to those phases where you need to avoid the spike wall somehow, so you need to solve that.
Is this son of a bitch gonna fucking sit here and tell me that he's got it hard whenever he's playing Blood Mist? Meanwhile, me as a fucking whirlwind barbarian, I couldn't even get through phase 1.
I mean, if you're playing a barbarian, you have bigger issues than the game just sucking.
Gonna have to fucking hear this shit.
Problem, you need to go in round so that those fiery balls wouldn't chase you in phase 2 and wouldn't hit you. So
Yeah.
these are like a little bit more interesting and more engaging mechanics. Unfortunately, there's just one place that has them, and you're not really motivated to do it at all because now I'm getting
Of
into a
course.
different problem.
Nice.
A boost to get you through Lilith costs about 2 million gold that you can make in
2 milli to get you through Uber Lilith?
Oh, well, I guess it only
that's
takes
such
like
pussy
30
shit.
seconds.
They should only give you the achievement if you do it solo.
literally 2
Oh,
hours
get the
or
fuck
maybe
outta
an
here.
hour if you're faster. And I have nothing against
Come
boosting,
on.
carrying, or the price it has. It's
Yeah,
great
it's
for people
fine.
who use the
Yeah,
service,
true.
get the mount, and be done with it. However, I do have a problem with
I think they should make it solo only for the mount. I do. I hate the buying a boost to stuff like this. Like, come on, man. Why?
Probably should
the
be better.
disconnection that is happening in between the cheapness and the insignificant value of an Uber
Solo only
Lilith
for the mount?
fight
No, go on.
compared to what the devs have told me in the past it should be. It should be this grandiose fight with a lot of mechanics that really test your
Grandiose.
skill,
Oof,
and it
big
should be
words.
normally a 10 to 15 minute fight.
Wait,
but
what?
i-
10 to
it's
15
just-
minute fight.
It's just not. But
Well, he could have played Whirlwind Barbarian or any Barbarian build. It would have been a 10 to 15 minute fight.
at the same time,
Good.
it's not only for some classes and only for a couple of
Yeah.
broken builds, as opposed to other classes having access to this as well. So
Blizzard has not balanced a single game in the past 20 years. Prove me wrong. Pro tip: you can't. Some of you are gonna say StarCraft, which I hardcore disagree with you, because StarCraft 2 is supposed to be balanced around competitive play, and to this day, there's still problems with competitive play. For example, Protoss vs Zerg, because that shit can't go to the late game. Otherwise, the Protoss just like stomp usually. Or the other way around. I don't remember which, but again, Blizzard's not good at balancing shit.
is it everyone supposed to have a broken build, or just some are supposed to be broken and then
Some.
they're supposed to be fixed? And
By
You know, Blizzard
accident.
would say, well, there's not supposed to be broken builds. Every build is supposed to work, and every spell is supposed to fit together to create the playstyle that you choose.
You know what? That does sound like Blizzard. And you know what? That's why they need Todd Howard. Todd Howard would tell you that Todd Howard would actually sell that.
not be broken? Is
Yeah.
Uber Lilith supposed to be easy or hard? I don't understand anymore. Is the new content that comes after Nightmare
knows?
Dungeons, that's gonna be like the ranked content in season 3? Is that what I'm waiting for? Or
Oh, I really hope that we don't get back to a greater rift situation. I hate that. Like, you just farm higher and... So, with this quill rat, this is, level 237 quill rat. It does, 9.6 billion damage per hit, but you have, 700 billion, damage resistance, from quill rats. You know, a new affix from season 5.
Yo,
And
good
so
stuff.
you can go all the way up to level 500 where the cool rats will do 3 trillion and they kill you in one hit. I hate infinitely scaling stuff. I think it's so boring because you never win. You just choose when to get.
Infinite scaling? This is not actually infinite scaling. This is like infinite scaling challenge, but there's no real reward. That is the issue. Infinite scale. I think infinite scaling is great, by the way. You know, because it's infinite scaling done right, at least, right? If, for example, let's say someone's playing like 500. You know, the average player plays 1 hour a day, but this hardcore is playing 12 hours a day, right? I think they should have some kind of reward at the end of the day for, you know, literally destroying any chance they have in a reasonable life, because they're playing that much Diablo, and that means something. I think they should have some kind of reward. I think, you get like level 100 Paragon, and then you get a second Paragon unlock, which is literally Diablo 3 Paragon system. And every level that you can like grind in like 6 hours, you become 0.01% stronger. There you go. Infinite scaling. At least you got something, At least you got something, Chief.
Give up.
Or is current content just broken and builds are broken and they're not supposed to be like that? So if I'm thinking about playing Diablo 4 for a long time, all of this just adds another layer of confusion over the game. If I'm just thinking about having fun now and not playing tomorrow, then there's no problems in Diablo 4. I do want to praise them for doing the first 50 hours of my time and the first 50 levels, or maybe the first 60 levels, to a very, very addictive and very
40 levels.
Degree. I really enjoyed my
40
time
to 50 is just sluggish, boring, and nothing happens.
Of the game and an ARPG, in my opinion, at which point you start really noticing a lot of problems. Other than that, Season 1, I did not have high expectations for it, simply because I did watch their podcast when they announced it, and it wasn't really that interesting. It was a very safe take on a season. The only thing that was changing was the fact that now I have some malignant hearts that I can socket on my accessories.
Can't wait to see those get removed in Season 2 for them to restart doing everything else again. And then the new content from Season 1 gets deleted, and now we have just 2 new things, and now there's no longer malignant tunnels. There are
fire tunnels.
Cursed mines, and you can get cursed items, and they are like corruption in BF.
That's actually one of the things I think will happen. That's one of the things I think will happen. But are they getting dude? Are you telling? Wait. You're telling me when season 2 comes, the hearts are just gonna get removed? Is that true? I need to know. Is that actually true? Because that's insane. That is just blatant insanity, okay? It's not insane, it's blatant insanity.
It's like you have to... Now you don't have to farm renown, but you have to get up your corruption level. How do you get that?
Like, what's the point? What is the point of making a season, making the next season after that, and just eating and deleting everything about the season prior to that? That's so stupid.
Oh, it's from doing side quests. You gotta do those now. Oh no.
And yeah, they just give me some new powers, a couple more legendary powers.
A couple was right.
It was incredibly thin, and if the community wouldn't have made such a gigantic mess of a big deal in terms of buff.
Hello, fucking there. I just found my classmate on Tinder. That's pretty neat. She looks pretty decent. Single with kids. Well, not gonna lie, boys. I did not expect a lot from her to begin with. Oh, good times. She's thinner than I would have expected. Not fat, by the way. And I mean not fat by, Americans are gonna call fat people not fat, but nah. Interesting. Well, I can't. Shit. Can't even YOLO it. Well, whatever.
Nerfing, and whatever they changed to achieve their later down the road goal, which later on they changed, then the season 1 would have been even worse. And because of that, and also because of the fact that just a couple of hours before the season 1 started, they changed the malignant hearts to also give armor, because so far they didn't. So they themselves...
Right. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I didn't know about that.
Throw that in there real quick.
The studio came up...
By the way, the malignant hearts are such an absolute waste. You know why everyone's playing a necromancer? Because they have the only interesting and cool malignant heart in the game. It's true. No malignant heart matters except the necromancer's one. It's just stupid. Okay? It's just stupid. The Necromancer has the only cool one. It auto-casts, like, skills. No other class has anything. I didn't actually check what kind of Malignant Hearts there were. So I started playing the Sorcerers, and I was like, oh, wow! These are the Malignant Hearts. The electricity damage on critical strikes, which is bullshit weak, by the way. The slight resistances that don't do anything, really, when taking elemental damage. Okay. And I'm like... Yeah, okay, this is nice. These are, the first hearts that you find. They're shit, but, they're fine. Little did I know those are literally the only hearts. I thought that I'm gonna find cooler hearts as time passes, as I level up. But no. No, turns out that's not how it works. It just isn't. It's the saddest thing ever.
With the idea of having these malignant hearts, but someone clearly forgot that as part of their grand ambition for Diablo 4, which is later down the road somewhere, they've removed the armor that people were socketing on their accessories, and they also nerfed the resistances and the armor in game a couple of days before the season. These are little things that maybe don't matter to anyone, but they do matter to me. Because they give me an insight on what's in the dev's mind.
Well, yeah, it's like this is what to expect. Exactly. Yeah, it's mining canary, right?
And what is behind
stop,
the scenes
please, not
when
again.
they make some of the changes. Not only they nerfed everything without balancing out with some buffs in other departments. That was a different story, another big problem. But at the same time, they had to hotfix armor on the malignant hearts because they just simply forgot about it. At least in my eyes, they just didn't think that it's important. I'm 100% convinced that Diablo 4 is gonna be such a nice game in about 6 to 7 months from now. Maybe with the start.
2 years, boy.
People say that about New World, and they're still waiting on that to happen 18 months later.
That's actually true. People did say that about, oh, don't worry, New World's gonna change. Yippee-yi-yay. Yeah, that never happened. New World has just gotten worse over time.
Or what, 2 years later, maybe? I don't even know.
Probably
so, like
2 or 3 years.
people say that, but, like, I don't think that, like, if they have... The thing is, like, if Diablo 4 has the strategy of adding in content, then taking it out after the season is over, there's no reason for the game to be better in a year than it is now. Because it's just the new iteration of bullshit.
Of season 3, that's gonna be the time when the game is really gonna shine, and I hope I think that is going to regain some of the audience that it has lost right now.
You know what Blizzard is doing? They're checking out these videos and they're hearing everyone saying like, oh, Diablo 4 is gonna be a great game in like 4 or 5 months or a year. Don't worry about it. And Blizzard's like, whoo. We can get a little bit of that good faith currency at least for a year until they figure out that we completely don't even have anything to add to this game. Fuck, the Season 1 was ChatGPT's idea to begin with. Season 2, ChatGPT didn't even give its ideas because it gave up. Damn.
Of course, there's been a lot of positives happening to Diablo 4 as well in the apparent sea of problems. But even with these changes, they don't necessarily affect my own problems with the game or my lack of excitement or incentive to push on for some specific goals that I had. The game, in my opinion...
Oh, wait, look at this. It bugged out. This has been a bug for like months now. Look at the minimap.
That I had. The game, in my opinion, is still a game that's in beta, and these changes that they're making, the buffs, the reverts, the changes to nightmare dungeons, the changes to health...
Oh, wait. I need to go back. Watch the minimap.
...with the game, or my lack of excitement or incentive, in my opinion, is still a game that's in beta, and
oh man, I can't get the moment
to push on for some specific goal.
Why the fuck is this a thing? Why? You know why? Because this is an unfinished mechanic. horses were supposed to probably stay or something like that. You see, there's a horse icon. Why? Considering it stays only for half a second, because someone didn't remove it because they didn't care.
Goals that I had. The game, in my opinion, is still a game that's in beta, and these changes that they're making, the buffs, the reverts,
Doesn't
the
justify
changes
shit
to
though,
Nightmare
boy.
Dungeons, the changes to Hell Tide, the quality of life, the bag, the this, the that. These are all great changes, but they are beta changes.
Yeah.
The game needs some life behind it before it actually is going to
It
shine
needs some
and
developers
be
behind it, in my
captivating and
opinion.
competitive
Jeez.
for what I expected of an ARPG. I thank you so much for watching this video. I'm very interested in seeing or reading.
Yeah,
what-
I think a lot of people are going to go and they're not. I don't think a lot of people are going to come back and play Season 2. Unless, like,
I think
massive,
that's
drastic
wrong.
changes are made. I think a lot of people stuck around for Season 1 just to see what was going to happen. But I don't know if it's really going to happen with Season
I think people are gonna stick around. Well, not stick around, but people are gonna check out Season 2. Like, why not? I mean, yeah, you're probably gonna check it out. It is what it is.
2. I think people, if they've seen what there is to offer, I don't know, man.
But Season 2 has something new to offer. In any case, I think that's pretty much the video right here. This was Quizzer Sid. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.